Well, welcome back to GP Simsports. This is race number 2. Um, I'm pretty excited just based on what we were seeing last time. This is going to be a pretty good race. There have been some minor improvements, like I have been I put the car name tags distance up so we can see that a little bit better, which is nice. Um, Other than that, we're just kind of ready for another race. I don't have my co-commentator tonight, so it's just me. But hopefully this will still be an interesting race. We still have our top-down view, and we have a... Oh, actually, right now it's the exact same track view. We need to change that. So I expect to have some pretty interesting racing today. Um, I have been watching a little bit of practice, but nothing crazy. Honestly, it's just going to be more spinning and going on a track like this. That's going to kind of shake up the organization of the field. But I am pretty excited. Right now they're just doing practice, and we'll get to qualifying in just a few moments here. Until then, I'm going to mute my mic because I don't have anybody else to talk to. I'm back. I apologize, everybody. Looks like we are in qualifying, so I am not too late. We got about 6.5 minutes left. So, all right. So we have Rodan in first. Sauce is 5 seconds behind Rodan. That is not something I expected to see. And also, in earlier practice, earlier this week, people were getting, like, at the highest, like, 2 minutes, 12 seconds. Well, Sauce just got a 1:45. I wonder what happened that just made them kind of step up their game. A 1:45 is a very fast lap. We have Penguin in second with just 1:45 and then plus 0.1 seconds. That's very impressive, actually. Usually Penguin isn't high on the leaderboard in qualifying. Oh, Sauce might be disconnecting. Yep, looks like he did. Okay. Something interesting is I do know some of these guys drive like specific tunes just for qualifying, and then they change their tune when they go to the race, trying to get the best qualifying lap they can, and then, you know, to switch it. Oh, that isn't Penguin. That's James Pendry. That's one of the new guys. He's really quick. I don't actually know James Pendry at all. On Discord, he's not James. Okay. Yeah, he's new, but he's doing, like, really well. I don't think he was with us last week, but I'm, like, actually really excited to see how he stacks up against everybody else in the actual race, not just qualifying. We have quite a few new people joining this season, and that is actually kind of surprising to me because this is one of the harder cars to drive. But it's not a bad thing at all. It's always amazing to see this. I'm not going to say sport. I don't know what to call it. But it's amazing to see it grow. Sim racing. It's great to see sim racing grow. Ooh. That's what I was talking about with one of those harder cars. They spin out quite a bit. So you can be a great driver, but with a car like this, you have to be able to keep it under control. And sometimes you can't just push it 100%. So it looks like Sauce is back in. I don't actually know what. Oh man, I'm gonna have to remember his name again. James something. James Penn something. I don't know. I don't actually know what he was sitting at compared to Sauce. I know Sauce had a 145.8, I believe, and I think James was just a few, maybe a second faster, 0.5 second faster. I think Sauce can beat him, but Sauce does not usually have competition like someone like Dean would. Sauce is usually either caught up in the pack or he is out front. Occasionally he'll be drawn back with somebody like Game Boy or Pro, but the majority of the times he's out front, usually way far ahead of that first hack. It's going to be interesting to have two people who are like really fast race at the same time. But then again, we can look back at the leaderboard, and Pro is only 0.870 seconds behind Sauce, and Rodan's just 0.2 seconds behind him, and Game Boy is just 0.1 seconds behind him. So maybe this will be a really close race. These cars do not like to brake at all. So when Sauce sent that, I half expected him to spin out because you can't brake more than like 70%. So a lot of guys I know will set the brake bias down a few notches, which really helps. But still, sending it just means that you don't slow down as quick anyway. Let's see. I got some inside information from Game Boy. He was talking to me earlier. Or is that Gunner? Might be Gunner. Anyway, he said, on the ABS/traction control issue, I think almost all of us are at least running ABS, and most of us are also running traction control. Dean is running ABS and no traction control. I'm running both. I did some testing with ABS on and traction control off. I found that having the traction control off allows you to get more rotation in high-speed corners, but makes it easier to spin in low-speed corners, so it's a trade-off. That's pretty interesting. So most of them do have ABS and TS or TC on. I think the main reason why Dean is not running traction control is his Moza setup. He was talking about something to do with his pedals being annoying with the auto traction control. I'll have to look back at that. But it was very nice to get that feedback on things I say, because I don't have a lot of I actually have zero communication with the drivers while we are streaming, so it's nice to have some people watch back and tell me different things that I should be talking about that I'm not. But it looks like qualifying is over, and we are on the grid. So it looks like first. Oh, that is. Okay. Our leaderboard messed up a little bit here. Let's see. Looks like we have James Pendry. Alright, James Pendry is first. Sauce is second. Pro is third. Who am I on right now? Rodan? Yeah, Rodan. Rodan is fourth. Game Boy is fifth. See, that's another new person. Wow. Well, he was here last week, but still, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's a lot of new people. Sorry, I didn't get to say everybody, so I have to get off the track so I'm not in the way. But there are quite a few new people. We got Sauce, Pro, Rodan, Game Boy. That's a new person. That's a new person. James Pendry is a new person. It's 1, 2, 3. That's 3 for this series. Oh, looks like Oh, okay. So CJ looks like he just spun out there, and he spun out in front of, who was that? Air? Game Boy? Yeah, it was Game Boy. That really slowed him down, so that's not good. But I think we have one, two. We have like 4 new people this season, which is pretty impressive. Okay, so James Pendry is in the lead in front of Sauce. Sauce is taking the inside line a little bit closer there. Sauce is right on his tail. Pro and Rodan are side by side. A little bit of sliding there from Pendry. It looks like we have packs of 2 kind of stacked up with Pendry and Sauce, Pro and... Oh! Pro went out into the grass. He was coming back in. There was another guy who went out into the grass too. Pro almost wrecked, who is it? That's Rodan coming back out from the grass, but Rodan saw that coming in. Didn't really want to risk it. Sauce is coming up pretty close to Pendry. It was like he just sent a little bit more momentum into that turn, but had to slow down a little bit harder. We have the 2 red cars, which is interesting, and the 2 yellow cars. They aren't the same number, right? 66. Huh, that's weird. Looks like they're both 66. Wow, Pendry has completed an entire lap, and Sauce has not gotten ahead of him. That looks like that's Dean back there. I was just off the track a little bit. We can return to that. Dean's up here in 5th, so his main goal is to catch up to Rodan and Pro, who are, well, Rodan's right now just trying to get up to the back of Pro, and Pro probably doesn't feel the pressure. Probably not that prominent because there's a good almost second in between them. There's Kirby and Spangler back here. This could turn into something pretty interesting. Because I think that in this car, Kirby is a better driver than Spangler. Oh, is that going to be a pass right there? It is. Mike is now ahead of Tom. Oh, it looks like Dean got pushed back to 7th. I actually don't know how that happened. Now we have a nice little pack going here. Gunnar actually popped off the track. But we have a nice little pack here with Dean and Mike. And Air and Spangler. A nice little middle pack, if you will. Oh. I guess I probably should not have gone off James because he is back in 4th now. Sauce is in the lead. Pro is 3 seconds behind. Rodan is 2 seconds behind Pro, and James Pendry is just 1.6 seconds behind Rodan. That is actually not something I saw coming. I wish I had stayed on him longer. We might be able to go back into the replay. Looks like Kirby is catching up to Air. There he is on the inside. He wasn't... Well, there's some more turn to go. Maybe he'll take it. Oh! Like I said, these cars, you can't really push them that hard. His braking and everything about his strategy was perfect for the racing line. But if you push those cars just a little bit tighter, they're gonna spin out. And it's kind of like, let's see. I actually don't know if Mike has traction control on or off. If he does have it off, that might be part of it because you get better rotation, but you do spin out more often. Now CJ is really throwing it into that corner, trying to catch up to Mike. James Pendry is really close to the back of Rodan now. Is he going to be able to take this? Oh, I wasn't sure. There was a little bit of glitch there. It kind of looked like Rodan was not slowing down appropriately for that turn. James is coming in on the inside of Rodan like quite easily actually, and he just sent it into that turn, braking much later. But he did get on the outside of the next part, but he looks like he was still able to pull ahead of Rodan after all. But he did just touch grass there. He started sliding a little bit, but he was able to pull out of it. Rodan's still pretty close. He's gaining on this straightaway. He took a little bit of a wider approach there. Try to get just a little bit of a help. I'm still not sure what happened to James Pendry, but it looks like he's catching up fairly quickly. We have about just under 8 minutes left in this race. Pendry just kind of came in and is taking podium with ease. It's nice. ZZ1, we were kind of looking at last week a little bit, is up in 6th place, which is really good for somebody who just joined the group. Dean's down in 8th. There seems to be some things going on down there. Or at least there was some things going on down there. Dean's way back in 8th. He is a total of 7.5 seconds behind Game Boy. I mean, he is a really big section away from the lead. If you look at your map in the upper right, you can kind of see it's very spread out except for just 2 little spots right here. Oh, it looks like there was a crash actually. Looks like Thomas Spangler went out into the dirt. Yeah, not fun for Tom, but Gunner just sent into the turn and spun out. We are still grouping up in packs of 2. Kirby's back here in 11th. Looks like Game Boy is catching up on CZ1. I think overall Game Boy is a better driver, and he'll be able to take it as long as he doesn't make any mistakes. Well, CZ1 made a mistake. He, like someone new to the group would, felt pressure from Game Boy being on his tail and probably made a mistake there. Looks like Dean also passed ZZ1 in that, but ZZ1 is really close on his tail. Looks like Dean just kind of scraped by. Man, ZZ1 is really close to the tail of Dean. He's gonna... Okay, it looks like he was about to try to pass on the outside, which would not be a good move. Not on this turn, especially. Okay, he's pulled quickly over to the inside, changed his mind, went back to the outside. Now has an outside approach. But he does have to... Nope. Okay. I'm struggling to see what he's trying to do here. Both go out into the grass a little bit. Looks like Game Boy has some issues. Whoa. Air Cool just sent it off that. Spun out. I'm not exactly sure what happened there. I was too busy looking at Dean. That's why it's nice to have a co-commentator, which I don't have today. Looks like Dean is starting to drift away from ZZ1. There's now a 0.5 second difference. 0.7, 0.9. So Sauce is way ahead in the lead, and James is almost 10 seconds behind him. Looks like Sauce has found his usual spot in the pack. Oh, Kirby is catching up to CJY, it looks like. Whoa! Well, CJY probably spun out there, and Kirby just hit him. It is usually customary for somebody that caused an accident, accidentally or not, to wait for the person who they hit to pass them. Looks like that did not happen in this case. There aren't going to be any points docking, but I do feel quite bad for Kirby there, who got his line ruined. I mean, he's new, so I can't blame him that much, but, you know, I would have waited. Anyway, back to ZZ1. Looks like he's catching up to Dean a little bit there. This might be a never-ending battle in the last 2-3 minutes. But it does look like Spangler's catching up to Kirby, which is not what I want to see, because Mike right now should be ahead of CJY. But, you know, it is what it is. Kirby isn't going to give up a hope that easily. There are two very close points right here. It's Spangler and Kirby and ZZ1 and Dean, but it looks like ZZ1 has actually fallen behind over a second behind Dean. Right now, Mike has caught back up to CJY. Let's see if he can make the pass. And he looks like he makes the pass. Take still on the inside, but CJY somehow actually tipped back the lead, but he's on the outside in this tighter turn. Looks like it was really close to being Mike and Tom being able to pass CJY on the inside, but CJY saw that coming. It looks like he was able to brake a little bit and pull right in and prevent Tom from passing him. Tom off in the grass just a little bit there. This is where CJY had his last fatal crash, if you will, and Mike hit him. But right now, Mike doesn't have to worry about that because he has to worry about CJY and his tail. Really close, actually. I mean, he is just 0.2 seconds out, and he is on the outside. But if he was able to get a better exit, oh, ooh. They both spun out. Mike felt that pressure, and he sent it a little bit too hard in that turn and spun out. And then CJY, well, he was just chasing too hard. So he went straight off because he was trying to take the wide outside line. Kirby was trying to cut it through the inside, but he just was carrying just too much speed. Looks like it is not Kirby's day today, as he is way back in 12th place. We can look up here, divert our attention to Pro Darwin, who is actually catching up to Racebrick quite nicely with this 0.3 seconds. He has only 30 seconds left to catch up. I believe this is the final lap now. If Pro can pass Racebrick in this next lap, he will get a podium position. But Racebrick just spun out. I think Pro hit him. So this is what we do want to happen. If you cause an accident, you wait for the other person to pass you. Obviously, this is not something that Pro wanted whatsoever, because he did lose even more positions. But Racebrick is in 4th. Pro looks like tapped his bumper, or where a bumper would be on a different car. And yeah, well, Pro's not getting podium tonight. Dean's in 7th still, but it looks like ZZ1 is still actively on his tail, kind of being a pain. But isn't that the job? Looks like we are coming to the end of our race. Sauce just went by. I don't know why I'm back in the pits, but it looks like I am. Looks like, oh, Gunner's a whole lap behind, so he has to do a whole other lap to finish. There's Rodan in 4th place. He did lose his podium position. Wait, that Rodan should be 3rd. I don't know why it says that. Racebrick should be 4th. Probably because someone finished. Looks like we have Sauce in 1st. James in 2nd. Rodan 3rd. Racebrick 4th. Pro 5th. Why is it? I don't know why it's doing that. Okay. Pro 5th. Game Boy 6th. ZZ1 is just right now going through at I believe it's 7th place. Dean in 8th. Oh wait, ZZ1 passed Dean when we missed it. CGY 10th, Kirby 11th. Made up 1 spot there, that's nice. Gunner in 12th, Spangler in 13th. And everybody else got a D and F, or did not show up, actually. There we go. We get to watch some donuts. I don't think anybody does donuts quite like Game Boy does, actually. He can do them in almost any car. Just has a knack for it. I have neglected to read the chat entirely. But looks like Jay popped in for a few moments there. So, our final lineup, our finishing order for race number 1 of the second night. Sauce got 1st, Pantry in 2nd, Rodan 3rd, Racebrick 4th, Pro 5th, Game Boy 6th, ZZ1 7th, Dean 8th, Air Cooled 9th, CJY 10th, Mike Kirby 11th, Thomas Pangler 12th, Gunner 13th, and then the Transit Van in last because he was busy. So just in a few more seconds here, we are going to move on to the second race of the night. Looks like we are popping up on grid. Now, if you remember properly, our finishing grid is reversed, so the fast guys are all the way in the back. Now you may think Thomas Pangler wasn't in the front. People who did not finish or were like a lap behind, they will actually be put in the very back. I actually don't know exactly why, but that's just the way it is. So it looks like we have the people who weren't actually on the server there. Looks like we have Gunner. No? Who is that? CJ Line first? No. Our grid is messed up here. Looks like we have All right, we got Gunner first, Mike probably second. Yeah, Gunner first, Mike second. Doesn't matter. We're here to watch some racing. All right. Let's see how they do through this first turn. They're like 3 wide right now. Gunner pulls ahead, but he just sent it out, and he's way out the track. And now he is way in the back. Kirby is now in first place. There have been times, especially in the last series, the GT3 series, coming 2 wide out of that turn was crazy, by the way, where Mike has gotten second in the second race because he finished lower, but he was able to hold off second for quite some time, get first, hold off first. I think he actually got first or second one race. It's very impressive. DJY kind of threw it out that turn. Mike holding off first quite well, but CJY is really close behind. I think CJY is a pretty good driver. It's just when you get set back, it's kind of difficult to come back from that. But right now, as the first lap goes, the field is pretty packed. I don't think I've seen a split bigger than. There's actually 2 outliers, so what I was about to say. I think bigger than 0.5 seconds, but there's 2 outliers. There's 1 second, one with 5 seconds. Because wait, why is Dean? Oh no! Oh. I mean, there's not much else to say about. There's not much to say about that at all. That's a tricky turn, and he spun out. That's rough. Luckily, he's not too far back. 9th isn't amazing, but isn't terrible. But the everything is packed pretty nicely. I don't know why my leaderboard is kind of glitching out here. I don't know, it's doing some weird things right now. James Pendry is in 10th right now, but he did start at the very back. Sauce, however, also started right next to him, and he's in 7th. So somebody was able to manipulate the field a little bit better. Oh, Rodan? Is that Rodan? That was Pro. Mike just went out in the grass really wide there. Pro Darwin spun a little bit there. Well, he didn't spin. He started sliding, but he was able to catch it. Mike is now in 10th. He was passed by Pendry. But Pro is right on Mike's tail now. Now if we go and look at Spengler, he's really close, right? ZZ1 and Rodan are having a little bit of a battle. Ooh, that looked like it was almost a tap. Race pick went really wide. So Rodan was able to pass on the inside. It's really risky with these cars, especially on this track. This track is okay. I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like Tom just kind of threw himself off, and for some reason Sauce did the same or spun. That was really strange. Anyway, this track is really skinny in most part, so passing is really difficult with these higher hit boxes because it's really easy to mess up. Really easy. Right now, Sauce is way back here in 11th, about to pass Tom Spengler. Sauce is most likely not very happy about what happened, whatever that is. Now he has quite a few positions to make up. Alright, so right now Sauce has quite a few seconds to actually make up before he gets back to Pro, and by quite a few I mean 2, but that can be a lot with these cars. So right now Pro is really close to Kirby. Looks like they're having a nice little battle there side by side, and Pro passes on the inside. Oh, a little bump there. I don't know if that was actually Mike Kirby's fault, because Pro got in really close and then broke. It looks like that was actually a little bit of a brake check moment there. So now Mike is actually way back in 11th. So Dean was making his way up the ranks there. There was a little bit of that thing I was talking about where the tires kind of connected and touched, and it was really bad news. Dean was able to avoid spinning out, but it wasn't so lucky for Pro. I would say that's a solid accident. I don't think Dean should have exactly stopped for that, but that was a pretty big crash. But ZZ1, like pretty expertly, actually avoided a wreck in that area. He's right now really on the tail of Pro, actually. It'll be very interesting to see if he's able to pass him. Oh, but Game Boy just passed CJY in first, because CJY took a very outside route. That's impressive. I didn't realize CJY was in first all this time. That's really impressive, actually. Looks like ZZ1 is really on the tail of Pro, and Pro is really on the tail of Tom. That's Tom. Wow, okay. Tom was doing remarkably well. I was expecting a tap there, but Pro just kind of sent it and slammed on the brakes, which is not what I would do, but it really worked out for him. Whoa. He's now on the outside, though. But Tom, whoa, that was close. Okay. It's a good thing that ZZ1 saw that coming, because otherwise that would have been really bad. But whatever Pro just did, it worked out. It looks like he kind of went further along the route, broke harder, turned tighter to get underneath, and was able to somehow pull it off. I also think Tom Spangler actually broke just a little bit to just feed himself back onto his line, which is a smart thing to do. Around Spangler is right on the tail of ZZ1. Spangler isn't new, but I think this is his second or third series with us. So, oh, ZZ1 went all the way over into the grass. Looks like Tom did a similar thing. Sauce is really close to Pendry here. Pendry? I think Sauce can definitely pass Pendry in the next 5.5 minutes. If Sauce is able to do this, he gets a confirmed podium. Well, not confirmed, but he gets a podium. The leading pack is pretty tightly packed, actually, because Game Boy is up there first. It's only 3 seconds between him and Rodan, and only 1.5 seconds between him and Pendry, and then only 0.7 seconds between him and Sauce. Sauce has just 0.5 seconds between him and Pendry. Again, Pendry only has 0.6 seconds between him and Rodan. 0.4. They're getting remarkably close. This could be really good for both Sauce and Pendry, or really bad. Pendry was able to get onto the inside. Is he going to pass, though? He looks like he did. He is also on the inside on the first turn, sending Rodan out. What? Oh, no. So Pendry was able to get out there, but he spun out and was kind of turned into a top by, who was that? Rodan? Now his tires are like lava. They must be incredibly hot, which means he can't push at all. And they're going to take a solid 30 seconds to a minute to cool down to where he can kind of like actually use them. You saw him spin out a little bit there, catch himself, but I mean, you can see the heat bouncing off his tire. You can see heat coming off his tires. Dean, that was good for Dean because he's now in 5th, ahead of Rodan. But that was also amazing for Sauce, because somehow in the midst of all of that smoke, Sauce was able to pass. He's now 4.4 seconds behind Game Boy. A little over 2.5 minutes left, and he is in 2nd place. So that's really good for Sauce. I think Game Boy's going to be able to pull off 1st place. But that's only if he doesn't make a mistake. Rodan is right now really close on the tail of Dean. By tail, I mean beside him. Now back on the tail. Rodan is really pushing Dean. I don't think Dean likes this car at the track. Oh, Rodan is able to get on the inside. Dean almost interlocked wheels, but caught himself, so that was nice. Dean's back in 6th, but you know, it's better than being in 9th. Now, Racebrick is getting in the mix. He's on Dean's tail, and Dean is on Rodan's tail. Now, it looks like Rodan's going to be able to pull away. Usually they overdo this one, but looks like they were able to do that quite nicely, actually. They have 1.5 minutes left. That's probably about 2 laps. Well, yeah, I'd say 2 laps. Because they got this one, and there's overtime into the final lap. It looks like Dean's not having much luck, and he is pushed to the well, not pushed. He probably took the outside line, but Racebrick was able to get around him. Now Dean's gonna try to get on the inside a little bit here, Racebrick, but he wasn't able to. Actually, that's probably not what he was doing, and if he rewatches this, he's probably gonna tell me that I thought the wrong thing. It's impossible to get into the mind of Dean. Whoa, okay, Racebrick just kind of flung it out there. I mean, I don't know. There's nothing that I can say that would kind of make me understand what's happening there. He just went off the track. James Pendry, I don't know what happened with him, but he kind of just is off the track now. I believe he was pushed back to 4th. He probably just kind of wandered off the track a little bit. Now he's down in 7th, which isn't terrible, but he got like 2nd place just a few minutes ago. Racebrick is still on. Oh, actually, Racebrick is on Pendry's tail. Now, Pro is on Dean's tail because Dean was able to move up to 5th. Must have been something, small accident with Crow and Pendry. Looks like Sauce is actually caught up to Game Boy. This is the final lap. Game Boy has quite a lot to hold him off, and there was a little bit of squiggle there, and I don't think he was able to do it. No, Sauce is pulling ahead, but I believe Sauce is on the outside right now. So Game Boy has a chance to save it. But right now I believe there is a whole car length behind. Yep. Game Boy has lost first position. It's going to be really difficult to win that back in the next few seconds here, but not impossible. But with a driver as good as Sauce, it's probably impossible. This is the final lap. Sauce sliding. Possible good news for Game Boy. If he's sliding there, no. Okay, he was able to keep it together there. That's nice. Rodian was able to pass CJY there. I was just looking at the leaderboard. But I think Game Boy has, yeah, he's done. Game Boy is coming in second. Sauce is coming in first. Rodian is coming down this back straight. I don't see any reason why he will not get first unless he spun out. Remember, last week we saw someone spin out on this final straight. He's doing fine. Dean is going to get fourth. James is fifth. Pro is sixth. CJY is seventh. Raceworks eighth. ZZ1 is way back here, still on the back straight in ninth place. Looks like he's going to be ninth. Air is going to be 10th. Spangler is going to be 11th, and Gunner is going to be 12th. It looks like Kirby left. I'm not sure when that happened or why that happened, but it says he just got a DNF, which usually means he is not there anymore. But right now, Game Boy is back to doing donuts. He was doing his second place victory donuts. That's a really good position. I'm sure he's probably not too happy about losing first in that last lap after holding off for so long, but Sauce proved me wrong there. I said I don't think Sauce is going to be able to get first in the next 5 minutes, but he did. So I'm really fun racing today. Dean didn't do particularly well the first race, but he was able to get fourth in the second, and that's pretty good. That's usually where Dean's sitting. These are some really funny cars to watch because just random things happen, and I as a commentator try to explain them, but oftentimes there's no explaining, and it's weird. But this was a pretty fun race. That was race number 2. We have Sauce in first, Game Boy second, Rodan third, Dean fourth, Pendry fifth, Pro sixth, CJY seventh, Racebrick eighth, ZZ1 ninth, Air 10th, Spangler 11th, Gunner 12th, Kirby 13th. Although looks like Kirby left the second round, so that's what happened there. This was a pretty fun race. I'm looking forward to race number 3 next week. As always, I will be posting. Let's see. I guess I can't see my car. That's alright. I will be posting the results to both race number 1 and race number 2 tonight. And within that, we'll include the overall championship standings. I'll post them both here on this YouTube channel and on GP Simsports Instagram page as soon as I get them. But until then, we'll see you next week. How big is your ping? That's the question we ask, and that's how we answer it. I don't know if you've been looking, but my ping has been up over 100 this entire time.